Welcome to You're Not Alone, the podcast that brings you real stories of strength, hope, and resilience. Our guests are real people, just like you, who have faced losses, anxieties, and life obstacles, but emerged stronger. Today's guest is Masha Babajanov, a talented woman who overcame workplace challenges, discovered her true calling, and embraced her passion as a fine line tattoo artist and permanent makeup expert. Masha's story is all about courage and reinvention. If you're thinking about making a big life change or just need a spark of inspiration, this episode is for you. Trust me, you won't want to miss Masha's incredible story. Sit back, get inspired, and enjoy this incredible resilience, hope, and love story. My name is Victoria Vita. I'm a mindset mentor, Reiki master, CEO and founder of Self-Awesomeness, and a host of this podcast. And today's guest is Masha Babajanov, CEO and founder of Fine Line by Masha, a talented architect who took a bold step to expand her creative canvas, transitioning from designing structures to becoming a permanent makeup artist first, and then fine line tattoo artist. Masha now creates unique, expressive art that truly stands out. Her work is more than just a beauty. It's a statement of individuality. Hi, Masha. Welcome. Thank you for agreeing being on today's podcast. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and share your journey that brought you where you are right now?
Yeah, sure. Well, like you said, I used to be an architect. I actually got my bachelor's degree in New York for architecture, and I'm a commercial architect. And I worked in an architecture firm for a good 2 years. It was amazing. I think I was good at it. I always had it in me, the artistic side. So that was an easy choice for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then while I was working in an architecture firm, because it still is a male dominant profession. So there's mostly men who work in architecture, not a lot of women. In my firm, I was the only one actually. So that presented with some challenges because you always have to prove yourself. You have to prove that you're better, that you just as good, if not better. And I think, I guess my take on it, that if you really, really, really want to do architecture, go ahead. But it will be a struggle to make it as a woman in that profession. And the firm I was working in, it was an amazing firm. We did a lot of cool projects. It was commercial architecture, so we did museums, we did hospitals, we did a lot of government buildings. It was amazing. The only thing, I guess, the bad side of it, my boss, the CEO of the company, he was a young guy at that time. He was like in his 30s. And I was in my 20s, and I guess he had a thing, or he gave me a hard time for the fact that, okay, let's rewind. Yes, when he hired me, I was really excited that he hired me, that, he took me right off college, basically. I just graduated. I didn't know the whole business. And he hired me. Like, I went to like 2 interviews, and he said, yes, you hired, you're perfect. And then come to find out, the only reason why he hired me was because he was, I guess, attracted to me in a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's when the challenges began. That's when he would call me in his office every day. He would tell me things that I didn't believe that he should have been telling me.
Mm-hmm. Like inappropriate things, right?
Yes.
That now you understand, but you didn't understand when you were in your 20s.
I understood it to a point, but because of my at that time, I wasn't even married yet. I think I was engaged, and my husband was looking for a job. So at that time, he didn't have one, so I was the only one who had a job. And I felt like I guess that's part of my personality that I had to make it. I had to, I thought that it will pass, he will come to realization that I'm getting married and he will leave me alone in that aspect. But he didn't. And when I got married, I actually invited him to my wedding and he didn't come. And then he kept on like every single, like Monday through Friday, we would have this morning meetings when it was just me and him, when he would tell me that I should get a divorce, that I shouldn't be married to him.
Oh, wow.
That so good if I would be single. But I was already good at my job, And then I got pregnant and the things escalated. He began treating me really badly. Like he would yell and scream. He wouldn't let me leave the office to go eat, for example. You know how pregnancy is. You get you have day sickness, you have night sickness. And he wouldn't leave me alone. He would make things really hard for me to be alone. Like he would do things, like crazy things. He would make me put up furniture, IKEA furniture. That's how ridiculous it was. Like I would come to the office and he would tell me, you know what? I actually thought about it. I want to switch out the desks. So I bought IKEA furniture. I want you to put it together.
Oh my goodness.
And he called that a bonding exercise. So he would get me and another co-worker of mine, who was a guy, obviously, because they were all guys. And he would give us like one screwdriver. And we would have to put, the whole furniture with one screwdriver, basically.
Oh, and he challenged you in very sick way.
Like if I think about it now, I think, oh my God, why did I even take it? Why did I take this kind of treatment? But I did because I thought I had to. And then when I got pregnant, things escalated and things got from bad to worse, until the day when he wrote an email saying that basically come back when you're not pregnant anymore.
Wow.
Like, I don't want you in the office. He actually wrote it down. It's not
an email.
Like he wrote an actual email.
No.
Yeah. So I know.
I'm sorry.
So that was horrible for me because I had jobs before. I worked in a construction company prior to that. And it was always good. I always had good relationships with everyone. That was my first experience. And I felt like it was an experience in architecture. You know what I'm supposed to do. So after I got fired.
Because you were pregnant?
Yes. He told me I can come back as long as I'm not pregnant anymore.
Harassment, yeah.
I know. So after that whole thing happened, I took a couple of years off. I gave birth to my second son. And then I was sitting home. I didn't want to get a job because it was just, at that time, my husband already had a job, so we were fine financially. But then I couldn't sit. I love my kids. I wanted to be there for them, but at the same time, I felt like I wasn't doing anything for me, for myself. So, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to go back to architecture. But I remember feeling, when you look at your resume, you're about to send it out, I would get, I don't know, I would start hyperventilating. Like I would be so nervous, so panicky that I was going to go into the office again and I'm going to get the same treatment again. It's not the fact that it will happen, but that's how I thought,
probably this is the way you felt because you were traumatized from that experience.
Yeah, like it was bad. Like, your brain is always trying to forget the bad things that happened to you. Yeah. You just remember the pieces and snippets of it. So that's
but your body reacts to that as well, right? If you start shivering,
like
your body remembers. You may forget here, but you cannot. Your body still remembers. Yeah.
exactly. Like even now talking about it, like my voice breaks. Like
I could feel it. I could feel the goosebumps coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, because it takes me right back to that. It takes
Yeah.
me to his office. It takes me back to his body language, his words, and it's the thing about it. I was really good, like at the job itself. So that's why I guess I feel disappointed that it didn't work out, because I thought I was good at it. I did a good job.
I'm sure you're very good at it.
Thank you. So then I told my husband, I was like, listen, every time I want to send out my resume, I get panicky. I'm scared that they're going to take me. They're probably going to hire me. But right? What if they hire me just because they feel like I'm, a little pretty, or just because I'm a woman, because there's not a lot of women in architecture.
Yeah.
So, and then I was like, listen, well, he actually told me, he's like, listen, you're good at art, like you finished art school, so maybe you should do something with that. And that's when the idea came, that I always wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a tattoo artist, and that's something that always resonated with me, because I like drawing and I like designing, and I think it's pretty cool to do something on people's skin,
I agree.
So that's what that came from. But then when I looked, we live in Maryland. I live in Maryland. So in Maryland, there's different rules and regulations regarding tattoos. I looked it up and I found out that you have to be an intern in a tattoo shop for a year, qualified to be a tattoo artist. Because I already had two little kids, I couldn't take that time off, for a year, just being in a tattoo shop, sweeping floors. So I was like, okay, I have to find something else. I have to find another way to get there. Which I did. I found permanent makeup.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got certified. I found a school that I liked. I got certified. I found out that I'm actually pretty good at it. Like, I don't get as nervous doing it. The only thing I didn't like is the way they teach you permanent makeup.
So you...
Yeah, I finished, and then I realized that I can't be doing that. I don't like it. I have to find another technique. I have to find another way, to make faces look better.
To be an artist, right? So
Yeah,
it looks natural.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. It's basically, I was born with it. The talent portion.
Yes.
So it's something that it's always in me. And if I don't like the way something looks, I'm not going to do it. I'm definitely not going to do it if it's semi-permanent. So that's why I found another, whole bunch of other artists that I liked. I did a lot of research. I took a lot of classes. I took a lot of private classes. I came up with my own technique. I learned a lot about machines, pigments, everything, And I did that for a while, and I'm still doing that. And that's how my business came to be, that to this.
So you took your creativity that you already had in you and kind of put it into architecture, right? And then the life led you away from being an architect to actually create art, create that masterpiece that you create now with your tattoos. And even with permanent makeup, I know that you always take that individual approach for every client that come to you. You're just not saying, oh, this is good for you, let's do it. You actually talk to people, you recommend, you suggest what will be better from your professional standpoint. And it's always turned out to be way better when people think about it, learn from my own experience.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, because as women, we're very scared to have something done on our faces that won't look pretty, right? If I have my eyebrows in different shapes or different elevation. So it changes the face, and you really want to trust a person who does your permanent makeup, because it's, as a female, I know how good it is to feel good when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and you see eyes, you see your eyebrows, beautiful eyebrows, right? So you still take that individual approach to every client. It's not like everybody, you do the same thing for everybody, right?
No, I don't. I actually got a question from a new client, and she told me, "Oh, I thought you were just gonna do like a stencil. You're just gonna put the stencil on and outline the eyebrow." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna draw it on you depending on your face, and because I know how important it is. It's really important, and I get it." As a female, I understand how even men sometimes, they're scared to alter their facial features.
Mm-hmm.
Even eyebrows, you don't really think about it every day, but your eyebrow shape is crucial, because it has to frame your face. It actually frames your eyes. It frames the whole entire face, but it cannot overpower what you already have.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, every client that I have, when the minute they walk into the room, right, they open the door and I see them, I already know what I'm. That's the thing about it. It's weird how it happens. I don't know how it does, but it happens not when you sit in my chair. It's not when I take the measurements. It's not when I do the 5-point. It's actually the minute you walk into the room. And I look at your eyebrows, I look at your face, and immediately it snaps,
Mm-hmm.
clicks. I'm like, oh my God, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you see it in me? What do you want to change right away when I walked in?
Yeah. To be honest, yes, the minute you walked in, I already knew that the eyebrows.
We're changing that.
We're changing that. I'm like, I'm gonna look you into it, but we're gonna change that. But I do I get it. People scared. I get 90% of my clients, and you know that they scared. They panicky about getting anything on their faces. Especially when we're talking about a semi-permanent tattoo. It's not something coloring with crayons or a pencil. It's something that you're gonna have for a while. And there are, ways to get there. I mean, you see some eyebrows that are there forever.
Yes.
So people are scared about that, and I'm happy that lately I see a lot of change. I see how something that's more natural, that's something more not like you drew it with a Sharpie.
Yes.
So I like that. That. It speaks to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're an artist, you like to see beautiful things, right?
Yes, alter not so much that I can't recognize you. You have to cut bangs.
Yeah. Oh, that would be bad.
So
yeah.
Well,
so Masha, when you were at your corporate job, right? Why didn't you file for sexual harassment, for example, or why you didn't complain to anybody else during that journey?
Good question. Really good question. I didn't file for discrimination or any of that. The thing about it, when I look back at even that time when I got fired, before I got into the office, there was another, I guess, lady. I don't know. She was a young girl. She's a young, she worked there for him, and she left. Like, I don't know, I think she left about a couple of months before I came. And I was always wondering, how come there's no woman working in the office, But I knew of her because she worked remotely for us.
Okay, I see.
She stayed working remotely. She never came to the office. That was the time when nobody worked remotely, it wasn't
So it was before COVID, way before COVID.
I knew, especially with him, I remember when I applied for a job, at that point, I lived in New York still, and I applied, and he told me, no, you have to come and, you know, I have to move to Maryland. I was like, yeah, I'm about to move to Maryland. That's why I applied for the job. But he was like, you have to come to the office every day. I was like, okay. And then I found out that there's a female working for us remotely. Even though she lived here, she wasn't out of state. And then, you know, you start talking to co-workers, you know, and things, I guess, slip by. And somebody told me that they had a big argument or whatever, like they clashed, the personality clashed. So she didn't want to stay in the office anymore. And I don't know why, how come the arrangement happened. But she started working remotely. So I was like, okay, you know, that's something to consider. But you know, I guess part of my personality is I felt like I had to make it. I was good at the job. I liked the job itself. I really liked what I did. So I was like, I have to stay. I have to, you know, I can't just be, every time somebody tells me something, you know, I can't just go home and cry. I'm going to go home and cry, but I can't say anything to anybody. Mind you, I never told anyone. I didn't tell my husband I was going through that. I didn't tell my mom, I'm like the closest with. No one. But people in the office still, they still felt it. They felt the way it was treating me, you know? So I think I just didn't feel like, I don't know, I didn't want to go through the process to actually file a complaint. I never went through that process with any other company I was working. So that was something new. That was something that the thought never crossed my mind. But when he did fire me,
because you were pregnant.
Yeah, I was pregnant in the email. I did file a lawsuit against him. I called the lawyer. It wasn't my idea, to be honest with you. I called my mom. I was like crying my eyes out. I'm like, can you imagine? I'm pregnant, this and that. She was like, listen, he can't do this.
Yes, he cannot.
Like, you have to find a lawyer. Let's do this. I was like, okay. So I did find a lawyer. I called him. At first, he was like, no, I'm not going to take this case. You know how many cases happening like that? You know, when the female is complaining about a male boss. He was like, it's usually he said, she said. So I was like, listen, I have an email from him. He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, exactly what I mean. He was like, so he didn't fire you through, you know, just talking to you? I'm like, no, he actually wrote me an email stating.
Yes.
He was like, can you send me an email? I'm like, sure. So I forwarded the email to him, and he immediately called me back, and he was like, I'm going to take your case. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, it doesn't really happen this way. He's like,
it's in the paper pretty much.
Yeah, it's actually a paper trail.
Really?
So yeah, I went through that process too. I was pregnant, and I was going through, you know, to hearings. That was another crazy experience, because it was insane, because I never been through that. It was my first time, and you know what happens, you come and they try to, I guess, make you out to be not what you are. The thing about it, I didn't sue him for emotional, like, you know, all that. No, I didn't. I sued him for the money that I would get if I would stay there till 38 weeks pregnant, full term. So that's it. And throughout the process, it was so crazy. They were trying to, his lawyers, and his lawyers were amazing. I mean, I have to give it up to her. She was amazing. In a way, the way she was, like, you know, putting everything paper, the way she was questioning me. But I was telling the truth. I wasn't lying. It wasn't my first job. You know, it's not like I just moved here. It was something that I had a good record. You know, I had good jobs, good bosses, good relationships. was good in school. I mean, even though they tried to make me to be something that I'm not, but he lost the case.
Oh, congratulations.
I won, but I think he tried to lie a lot.
Of course.
He
I mean,
lied.
he knew what he was doing, right?
Yeah. He lied. He lied about a lot of things, and the lies caught up with him.
Yeah.
You can't, if you go in, if he would be truthful, it's one thing, but in this case, he was lying. The lies caught up, and they figured it out.
Of course.
And I won the case.
Oh, congratulations.
I have to go that. I don't wish it upon anyone. Nothing is worth your dignity, your time, your effort, your mental state. I mean,
yes. Yeah, I get it. Masha, before I still want to talk to you about your tattoo experience and how you shifted your permanent makeup art into the tattoo art. But before that, what would you recommend to someone who is maybe in that challenging situation right now, being the only supporter for the family, and they see how mistreated they are at their jobs? What would you recommend for them to do?
File discrimination, file a lawsuit, filing help, because it's not worth it. And at the end of it, when I look back now, I wish I did it sooner. I wish I didn't take because the thing is, the words stay with you. Every time he called me into that office, and he would tell me things like, I know I'm not God, but I'm a God in this company. If I tell you to breathe, that's when you're gonna inhale. Things like. So I wish I didn't have to take that. I wish he wouldn't. I would tell anyone who's in that situation that worse, so even worse than that, do something. Do something, because I know it's hard. It will be hard. The road is tough because it's not as easy. Like I went through it, the lawsuit. It was horrible. I would come home crying, but I'm so glad I did, because I don't think he would ever do that to anyone else.
Yes.
I think he got it. I think it actually clicked to him that he can't do this. That there will be women that will come into the office and she will take everything she owns,
Yeah.
But the thing is, he lost a lot. Like after the lawsuit, he lost a lot of things. He lost clients. It's a mess,
I mean, it's probably a really good lawsuit to have on your company's name, right? And you being a god of the company. Right? And if the god acts this way, so it tells a lot about the company, right? They said the tone of the company comes from the top, right? So, and yeah.
He actually, at the end of it, he told my lawyer, he was like, you know what? Okay, I lost the case. Just, I'll give it the money or whatever. We settled basically. But I want 15% going to her and the rest to the lawyer. I was like, what? I'm like, why?
Yes.
Why would you say that?
Yes.
Even to the end, he was so adamant about a woman having anything.
Yeah. And despite that, he hired a lawyer. His lawyer was a woman, right?
The lawyer, she was a woman. I have to give it up to her. She was really nice. I cried. So
she made you cry.
She made me cry a lot of times, but that's what she had to do. And
so she was doing her job. Yeah.
Yeah, she was doing her job, so I think she did it marvelously. I mean, she had to defend him, and God help anyone.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that. So, and now I want you to tell us your story when you start transitioning from your permanent makeup art to a tattoo. art, because what you create, it's not something that you just copy from where you see on Google. You actually create a piece of art that you put on people's body.
Thank you. um, yeah, about that. I think art, as you know, it's something that got passed down to me. So it's not something that I learned. I actually always had it. And I think I took it for granted most of my time, most of my life, because I felt like, if you're born with something that, right, you're born that you're good at something.
It's in you. It's in you.
Yeah, it feels like anyone can do it. I mean, I felt like it wasn't anything special. It was something that anybody can do. You take a person, you can draw the person, and it will look realistic. So I thought anybody can do that. So I took it for granted until, I guess, my college years. That's when I got noticed, and I was like, oh my God, people actually like that, and not a lot of people can do this. So, because my biological father, he was a painter, he was an artist, he was a painter. My brother is a painter and an artist. So it's something that got
it's in your gene, yeah.
Yeah. So when the whole, I guess, career change came into the view, I was like, okay, I have to do something that will allow me to work for myself. I can't be working for anyone else. Done that. Did that, did not work out. So and it has to be something that I will enjoy. And tattoo, I felt like it was the closest to me. It was something that I can do. And then when, I started with permanent makeup, and it kind of sucks you in. If you're good at something, you get clients, and I love my clients the best. I really do. The thing is, I have to thank them for me being here, because I'm from New York. So in New York, it will be much easier if I started the business. But I started here, not knowing anyone. And I had to start from scratch, and I had to start something new. And I would get, little by little, I would get clients who would appreciate me, my work, my craft. And they would recommend me. And that's how my business started. That's how I felt like I have to build a reputation. Trust me, that they would go to see me. They wouldn't necessarily go for the prices, for the location, they would, because they like what I do.
Yes.
But I always had the tattoo in the back of my head. I always had it. I have to do it. I have to make it. I have to get there. And about 2 years ago, before my third child was born.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, after kids. I took a leap of faith.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me take some classes. Let me see. Mind you, the tattoos that I wanted to do, not a lot of people do them. I mean, not a lot. It's actually mildly put, because there's, I don't know, I think there's like 10 artists throughout US who does that technique. So I had a hard time finding anyone who would show me how to do them. There's one artist, she's in Korea, and because it's in Korea, it's pretty popular, that kind of tattoo style, the fine line. So I found out that she's coming to New York to be like a star tattoo artist. So I reached out, I asked her, and she actually showed me how to do the fine line. Then I found another artist. She also does fine lines. She's in Europe. And I took a class with her online. So I started tattooing little by little. I had this idea that I want to do something feminine, that I wanted to do something like artsy, something that nobody else has, custom. And then I get pregnant and all that. So that kind of took, put a pause on the whole
Yep.
tattooing. Um, and then after I gave birth, I was like, okay, I have to go back. I have to go back. And I found a school in New York. It's amazing school. It's a tattoo school. It's actually a tattoo shop with school, but it's a nice, like a Fifth Avenue
Wow.
glass building. You wouldn't even think of it if you see it outside or even inside. You wouldn't even think of it as a tattoo shop. It looks.
Oh, wow.
It's like an Apple store, glass. It's all white. There's palm trees. I mean, it's so nice. It's so stylish.
Like
it's
different perspective of tattoo,
completely,
right?
completely, because there's still a stigma about tattoos. People think you have to have the whole body and it has to be thick, and it's only mostly men who do it. And here it's completely different. It's so nice. It's so clean. The artist is 50. I did at that when I went there was 5 female artists and 5 male artists, so they're 50-50. And they clean and they beautifully dressed, and you would never. They look like models. They're gorgeous.
Look like you, I guess, right? So you fit in.
And most of them from Spain, because the CEO of the Noble Art, he's actually from Spain. So he's the one who opened it, and there's a lot of them in Europe. There's only 3 in US. So I have to give my portfolio, and I got admitted, and I was so excited and scared. I was like, oh my God, I have to put my life on stop again and hold, because it was a 2-week course, and it was 8 to 8 in the morning to 8 at night. You only get a 30-minute break.
Oh, wow.
You don't get any breaks in between. And you tattoo. From morning to night, all you do is you tattoo.
Oh, wow.
It's so cool in a way, because you immerse yourself in that, and the other tattoo artists next to you who are amazing. You get inspired, and that's when I think, when my teacher and the other tattoo artists, they would look at my work and they're like, oh, we really like it. I think you're really good. And it's like, oh my God, I think I can do this.
You got that acknowledgement and confirmation, right?
You always do. No matter what you do, you always need that someone to do the. I mean, this is me. Good. That you have a future in this. That you the mistake, because you still have that in the back of your head. Oh my God, I finished 5 years of architecture school. I have a bachelor's in architecture, and I'm doing a completely different thing.
Yes.
So you always have that in your brain. Did you make a right choice? And it clicked for me, and I felt like this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I want to do.
This is the right choice for me, right?
This is the right choice for me. Every time, and I still do. When I do tattoos, when I actually tattoo somebody, I feel this calm, I just feel calm, and it's like Zen for me.
Basically, it's your meditation.
Basically, yeah. That's the best. For me, it's the best feeling. I like connecting with people. I like the exchange of energy. And I like when you tell me ideas and I can kind of recreate them and create them.
Actually create them, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. And I like that you walk out of here with a little piece of art, It's 99% you, but there's still 1% me, Really nice. It's a good feeling. It's like selling a painting, basically. Always have.
I mean, you are selling a painting on people's bodies, so it is an art, yes.
So it's really nice, and I like the way people connect to tattoos. Because with permanent makeup, it's mostly cosmetics, It's mostly You do lip blush, yeah, your lips look good. You know, the eyeshadow, it's amazing. Your eyebrows, but then you get so used to it that it becomes part of you. You don't even,
Mhm.
you don't even feel like anybody did anything. You feel like you always had it
Mhm.
because it's part of you. But tattoos, it's different. You know, people have this small, like a really strong emotional connection to them.
Mhm.
You know,
I know. I know.
so they always, even like a small line, they will be emotionally connected.
Mhm.
So I like that. I like
Mhm.
that people tell me their stories. I like when people tell me how they came up with the idea, or even the fact that they wanted to get a tattoo. Because most of the people I get are the people who this is the first time to get a tattoo,
Mhm.
first timers, you know, virgins,
Yeah.
and it's nice. It really is nice because you feel like people trust you enough,
Yeah.
they appreciate you, and they walk out happy.
Yes, yes, we are all happy with our tattoos. So I just want to point it out something that it's not just a tattoo. It's something that Masha creates. You sort of tell her what you want the tattoo look like.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not necessarily, you can even explain what you want the tattoo look like, but she puts your words and your thoughts together and she creates a piece of art. It is a piece of art that then it's put on your body and it fits in. It actually becomes part of you, but it's a beautiful part of you because it's not something that you could Google it and see it. And it's not something that everybody else has it. And it's different because it's fine tattoo. And I guess the technique is different as well, right?
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a one needle, so I just use one needle. I don't use a whole bunch. So it's like it's thin, it's delicate. I mean, I love it. I love the way they heal. I like the way they look in years to come. I just like the technique.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's new. I mean, it's relatively new.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feel like it. I mean, we have, each profession it goes through the evolution process, right?
Yes.
Art is the same way. It goes through that. The beauty industry goes through evolution process. What we saw 6 years ago, it's a little outdated now. The same thing with this, and I feel like this is an evolution for those. The
Mm-hmm.
traditional ones. Um, we respect them. We appreciate them for what they are. It's an amazing technique. Um, I bow down to traditional tattoo artists because it's a tough one. But this is something new, something modern, something that's gonna, I think, it's gonna hit its peak.
It's very pretty. And I think it is amazing that it's a custom tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that is created for you. As you said, that you hear people's story, you hear their backgrounds, and this way you can create something special just for them. So it's a custom tattoo.
Yeah, it's not a flashy
Yeah,
tattoo.
yeah, yeah.
You, I love that process. To be honest with you, I love it. People give me ideas, and I started working them, and I trying to see how I would, I guess, visualize it.
Mm-hmm.
You, um, for some client, that's why you have to have that first consultation when I talk to you about it. Um, when I throw some ideas at you to see what you like, how you would like it to look like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can finish. Basically,
Yes,
I,
for your body.
yeah, I can create, and it's nice. It's the
Yeah,
feeling. Oh, when I show
yeah.
the people
Yes, yes.
bumps, that's what I like.
Yeah. Yeah, you recognize your tattoo. I think for mine, you had 5 different versions, and I didn't really explain what I had in my mind. But Masha picked it up, what I wanted to see, basically, and I wanted to have. And it was interesting. I remember when I saw the first picture, I think it was the first
Yeah,
draft, the first picture, I was like, I was shaking, like my whole body, I could feel energy. Like I have goosebumps right now because I remember that feeling. And I looked at others, they were pretty, they were beautiful, but that wasn't exactly what I wanted to have. But the first one, I have goosebumps. So yes,
That
you personally, yeah, you recognize this is mine, and you cannot actually mix that feeling with something else. So you just know it. You just know it's yours. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. That's why I like tattoos. That's why
Yeah.
I like it's like buying a house. You your house, you feel it. You walk in and you
Yeah.
feel it. Of course, it's the same way. And I usually show the first one because the first one is usually the one that I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
Okay.
that's the whole thing,
Yeah.
So I show the one that I like the most, the one that I feel like fits the most.
Yes.
And then we go from there. Usually people pick the first
The
one.
first one. Yeah.
Because all the rest is basically a variation of the first one, but different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But an idea, the soul of the tattoo is the
Yes.
first one.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. I like the soul of the tattoo. Yes.
you know,
Yes. Yeah, that's so true. Masha, you went through a lot, right? From your corporate job, then starting a business in a new state without any support. Who supported you during that time when you were just meeting your new clients, that you were building your client database, that I'm sure you were at some point you wanted to give up, probably? Who supported you?
my husband, definitely.
Mhm.
I think he really believes in me. I don't know. uh, he always tells me there's a quote. I don't know if I say it correctly. I think the quote is, "The saddest thing in life is a wasted talent."
Oh
Uh,
my goodness, that's
yes.
pretty. Yeah.
So he always tells me that. He was like, "Listen," because he really thinks that I'm really talented. Um,
You are.
Thank you. So he pushes me. He always tells me, like, listen, you're good. You're good. You're gonna make it. You're gonna do this. Um, and my mom. Every
Mhm.
time I would tell my mom about my crazy idea. She's like, go, do it while you
Yeah.
like, do it while it's hot. It's like, and I guess those are two people that really helped me out a lot because there have been times I'm really sensitive. Um, that's why I take every client for me, that energy, the exchange
Mhm.
of energy, I pass it through me.
Mhm.
So I want to make sure that you walk out of here happy, you know. Um, and that's, I guess, it's tough. You can't, and my husband always tells me, you can't make everybody happy.
Mhm.
Uh, but I'm trying,
Yeah.
and I do my best. It's been almost 4 years, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted any client I have, any recommendation. Um, I think if it wasn't for my husband and my mom, yeah, it would be tough.
Mhm. So they were your big supporters. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when we first met, you were renting a table
Right.
at the school, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even there, it like you still put a lot of effort into helping people, helping your clients, first comers, as like doing ever something with their faces to feel comfortable and trust in you. So despite basically the place where you were
Yeah.
at that moment in time, and after you moved to your own office, so it was you basically. So it was just your energy, your creativity, your art was there.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I could feel. I know. I've been
To
there.
all, to all my places.
Yes, and it's a very interesting change to see how you progress. Right. So you are not afraid to take that leap step, as you said, and start doing it, learning about it, learning about new techniques, and basically start doing something on people's faces. It's not just drawing on a paper, but trusting that intuition, trusting that you are an artist and you do help people to feel better about themselves when they look in the mirror, especially in the morning. I think this is amazing. And that taking that step forward, not being afraid to move from one place to another, looking for your beautiful and cozy offices where you actually, your studios, where you feel, I feel very comfortable. I feel very calm and I don't want to leave. And for me, it's not an easy drive. And I liked what you said, that people come to me. People don't come for location. People don't come for prices. They're coming to me. So, and it's me. For me, it's like 45 minutes drive and a good day.
That was my goal. That's still it. Regardless of, where I'm going to get in the future. But I feel like I'm on the right path.
That's
to
it.
where this is not it for me. I'll be better.
No,
I'll do better. At least I'm hoping to do better. But that was always my goal.
That's
to be honest. I wanted to connect with people. I wanted to provide that safe space because I get a lot of clients. Women, they talk, and people ask me all the time, they're like, is it tough? Because it's tough working with people. It's tough to work with clients, You get really nice clients. You get a little bit more stubborn clients, But to be honest with you, I love all my clients. I really do, because it just, I don't know.
Because it's personality, right? You learn different personalities. You probably find different connections as well, and you find the way to communicate with them, because we're all different, we're all unique.
You always have to remember that you know what you're doing, right? I know I'm in this profession, and you know me, it's not a conveyor here. I do 1 to 2 clients a day, but from their perspective, they're scared. They never, this is the first time they see you. And now they have to trust you to come with a needle, to do something on your skin, on your face, on anything. So you have to always put yourself in their shoes, and you have to understand that you have to be patient, you have to be kind, and you have to understand it.
Yeah, and you do understand, especially like virgin clients, right? Who've never done anything. And later on, they have gone through all your services.
That's the thing. I thought getting into this profession, I thought I'm going to get those clients that open the door with leg and tell me, let's do this, And 99% of my clients, if not 100, they panicky about it. Don't do anything, just a little dot here, a little dot there.
Yes.
And then start with tattoos. It's a completely different field. When I started, I was like, oh my God, how I'm gonna convince now, how I'm gonna get clients was eyebrows, get them to get a tattoo. That's completely left field. So that was something.
So you're really good at showing people the beauty, the art, and how different it is from kind of common knowledge of permanent makeup and tattoo art, because it is different. It is unique. It is, I call it masterpiece, because it is a masterpiece. Yeah. So you can definitely check Masha's work in the links below this episode, because you must see her art. Yes. Masha, can you share a final encouragement message, maybe your legacy message with the listeners?
Oh, wow. I think you have to do what you're good at. Don't be afraid. If you have a talent, recognize it, because you have to recognize what you have, what you can do. Don't go into a business or a field that you're not sure of, that you're not passionate about, just for, money, paycheck, or because it's easy. Always go with your heart always go with your talent, with your, not even ambition, but how do you see, if you go, for example, if you want a tattoo or if you want to do permanent makeup, don't go into it just because thinking that you're going to get lots of money, lots of clients, and it's going to be easy and fast. It's not like that. You really have to work for it. Right. And when I mean work for it, you always have to study. You have to be on top of everything, every technique, every pigment out there, every machine. So you really have to like live it, you know? So if you're passionate about something, don't be afraid to even change your careers if you have to. Just as long as you love what you do, you'll always be amazing at it.
Thank you. This is beautiful. Yeah, follow your heart and follow your talents. And there are multiple talents you may have, right? So just follow your heart and see what brings you that joy, satisfaction, what basically lighten you up and helps you to get up in the morning and just feel inspired. And as you said, learn more, get into the details, and just live like in peace with your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much, Masha. Thank you for beautiful and inspiring story. Your talent is incredible, and the world does need the beauty you create. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for being on this podcast with me today on this episode.
Thank you.
Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss another powerful story. Check out Masha's links and check her beautiful work in the social links provided below this episode. And remember, no matter how tough things get, you are not alone.